All right. So this is the real one. It took me a couple of tries, but yeah, this is the real one. We're live.
Oh, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Zach Thacker.
How we doing, everybody?
Hey, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, no problem.
You're one of the when I decided to start this project, you're one of the first people that came to mind to putting on here, of course. I don't know if it's because we've been so tight. I've known you pretty much your whole jiu-jitsu career.
Yeah.
So I've probably been around you. You're one of the people at the gym I've been around the most, but you're pretty interesting, dude. I don't know if you know that about yourself. Do you?
No, not really.
Well, here's the thing. Like when the point of this, and I don't know how much of this you've listened to or anything, but the
Mhm.
point of this is kind of like I really like mentality. Obviously, like in a competitive setting, it's really cool to see how certain people handle the pressure. Um, I talk about jiu-jitsu a lot so far because that's pretty much where, you know, on the mats you see how a lot of jiu-jitsu, how people handle that pressure and how people like operate at like such a high capacity all at
Mhm.
once.
Mhm.
But it's fucking weird to like look at how different everyone is. A lot of times when you look around a class, it's not like a bunch of fucking tatted up, jacked, fucking, like prison looking dudes who just want to come in and fight each other. Like a lot of times in jiu-jitsu, you like look at the wall and they're just average looking people, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's usually a bunch of weirdos, myself included.
yeah,
So
it's like broken toys.
yeah, and it's I can't remember. It's like what Rogan said, or I can't remember who he was talking to, but it's like nerd assassins. It's like just a bunch of goofy people that come together and just try to figure out the puzzle of jiu-jitsu.
I, it's funny and I fucking love that you said that because you give off and you have like you're like the total like epitome of that gym nerd, right? Like for people listening, this guy's got Pokemon tattoos, Kirby, right? You got Kirby, like video
Yep.
games,
Yep.
tattooed on him. Big old thick frame glasses, and the fucking scary thing is, dude, is you're the guy that people should fear. I mean,
I mean, technically, yes.
like like you ever hear them people talk about like how like I think Kevin Hart started the joke, but like you know what scares you about the UFC is them fucking people are real.
Yeah.
like them people fucking exist, and
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
you're definitely one of them dudes that like people wearing affliction shouldn't be like spilling their drink on, even though they might think they, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
And
to be fair, I'd probably be like, "Oh, it's okay. It's no problem."
oh, I know you're a gentle being, but it's just kind of funny knowing that like that dude's limbs are at stake,
Yeah. Well,
at your discretion.
like you're in the same camp yourself. It's like yeah. I mean, you're a little more athletic looking than I am, to be fair. But it's just like it. I mean, yeah, we have as far as jiu-jitsu goes, we have like completely opposite games, but you're just as deadly. If you
Oh,
want to
thanks,
say that,
man.
air quotes. But yeah, man, it's and like coming up with you has been an amazing resource for me because when I come to you with questions or you come to me with questions, we have the exact opposite approach, and it's just great, to have that as a resource.
Yeah, and it's been a learning thing for me too. I've also gained a lot from that because like literally when people ask questions, you tell them to go left and I'll tell them to go right, and sometimes it boggles my mind. I'm like, all right, you got to show me that, Zach. And sometimes you watch me do it and you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense as well.
Yeah.
Do you like having that humble killer persona?
It's fun. My favorite is when I haven't competed in a minute, but when I do go out there and it's like I look like me, and then they're either jacked or super tall or they look like they actually do jujitsu, and I can, they underestimate me. So there is a bright side in that aspect. Yeah.
Do you let people's looks at competitions get to you?
No, because like I said, I look like me. So like for me, if they're like a big giant dude, then I'm like, well, I hope I can do something, because nothing was getting thrown around like a rag doll. Um, but for the most part, no. I don't like it when they're taller than me. but but other than that,
Yeah,
it's usually okay. Usually when
I
they're
have problems
lanky,
with
that's
that
when I'm
too.
like, when they're lanky, I'm like, oh god, all right,
Gonna be a long day.
yeah.
Did did you ever though? Like maybe you're
Well, yeah. I used to. I think it was like more in the white belt stage because it's like because competing was like super new. Like when I first started out. Um, if it was like a big looking dude, I was like, oh man, I don't know. Because what's funny is like even though I am a pretty big guy, I'm like 5'10", like 240 right now. Like I don't consider myself a big dude, but then like I am, you know.
right.
But then the guys that I compete against, it's usually in either super or ultra, depending on if I want to, slim down or not. They're like 6'3", like
I know.
280, and I'm like, oh god. But nowadays it's not too bad. Like I just try to, hey, I know jujitsu too. Just got to believe in yourself and then go out there and do it.
It's kind of funny because like in your weight class, you might have one or two guys, but you could have fucking anything. Like my weight class or whatever, my body weight fucking fluctuates like crazy, but every time I'm in the weight class, like I almost know what to expect. But your weight class could be almost
Oh yeah,
fucking anything. You
yeah.
got
I've gotten butter balls. I've gotten bean poles. I've gotten super athletic dudes that look like they played college football. Like I got it's a big mix.
what do you tell yourself when you go out there? Just doing it for fun or what?
Yeah. For me, it's mostly for fun nowadays. I did have aspirations, um, 26 and like coming up at like just started blue belt, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be, world champion, all this stuff. I'm gonna kill it. And then I started competing in blue belt, and I was like, oh, this sucks. It's like a whole different world. Because I didn't realize at the time that, my stupid white belt brain, I didn't realize at the time that these guys have been, either competing or training for years, like three to
Yeah.
3 to 5, and I just walked in the door with a fresh new belt on, and I was just getting smashed. So then after that, I started focusing more on the knowledge and the teaching side of it because I said to myself, eh, world champ's probably not in my playbook, but I can at least help everyone else get with help them out. Um, but as far as now, I mostly do it for fun when I do compete. I just sometimes it's kind of a chore, just going out there and waiting all day for your to lose in the first round. So
Yeah. I've been there. I drove to Miami to do that once. It sucks.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think mine was in Springs. I think that's as far as I've gone to lose in the first round. So
And then you like go home. Yeah, dude. The drive home sucks. You're
you're like, why did I even do it?
one move. It was one move. Yeah. And like we talk about too, man, like I'm not a big fan of jiu-jitsu competition. I am for the thrill of it and the mindset and the mental battle and
Yes.
the
Yeah.
warrior aspect of it. But as far as like the fucking like scoring and half the refs suck, that
Yeah.
this is gonna fuck me if this podcast ever gets big and I start competing. Oh, that's the kid said us refs suck. It is, watch, man. And if you do that, motherfucker, I'll record it and I'll fucking put it on here, put you on blast. But but yeah, I'm not big into like the points and like it's weird. I love jujitsu. Out of all the martial arts I've done, it's the one I've stuck with
Mm.
the most. But like I don't know. I sometimes I dream about being able to come up with like a scoring system that just breaks the sport like and blows it up, but
Yeah.
maybe one day.
Well, like for me nowadays, unless I'm like down bad, like there's like 2 minutes left and nothing has really happened as far as like me scoring points or anything like that. Nowadays, I really don't worry about points as much. Like I try to go for the submission, not as fast as possible, but like I'm
Mm.
going for the submission. I'm not going to get my sweep and then sit in close guard for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like that is good. It's a good mentality to have, you know. And then I look at points as like a backup. Um, but I feel like that could really help gi overall, and I think that's why no gi is so exciting. Is because of that aspect that you're going for the kill. That's why they got sub onlys. That's why they got unlimited time limit matches. All the on the big stage and stuff like that. I feel like if we didn't worry about the points as much, but this is me coming at it with only like 6 years experience, so I know that there's going to be people out there that goes, this retard doesn't know anything. Um, but I feel like
Welcome.
for the entertainment value, I think it would be better to prioritize um, going for the submission over like getting your points. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny you say that because I got to a point past few competitions where I just throw random shit out there, dude. Like instead of playing a completely safe, conservative game of like me versus like my style versus your style, like I've just thrown random shit out there and just kind of trusted the Hail Mary, and it's actually gotten me the finish a few times.
Yeah. Well, and I think that goes with that the mentality and the like trusting in your jiu-jitsu. Because there's times to have a solid game plan going in, but at the end of the day, there's always going to be people that disrupt that game plan, right?
Of course.
So if that happens, you have to have those aces in the hole, and maybe you're good with the technique, and it doesn't really work on people at the gym. Maybe they know it or whatever, and it's not necessarily your A game, but then you go out there and throw it, and sure enough, you got it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of like I agree with what you're saying. I like the way that you put that, like just trusting your jujitsu, because I think a lot of times competitors overthink,
yeah.
and I think that's one of the biggest things that holds people back. Um, is when they step out there, the anxiety takes over, and it's just like a flash.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I think being able to control that is like the when you level up and kind of
Yeah.
get to reap more out of it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons to compete is to learn that control.
Yeah. Instead
Even
of
if you
focusing
don't,
on the sorry, instead of
no,
focusing on the medal, are
yeah,
you saying like focus on your mindset?
yeah, focus on
I
the
love it.
idea is to not beat your opponent, but beat yourself. I don't mean to be cliche and quote some Bruce Lee stuff, but it's you're always you want to be better than you were yesterday, right? So if you go out there and compete, even if you lose, right, there's always something that can be improved, and losing is an insanely valuable teacher. You know, the old adage, you don't lose, you learn. And I actually am a firm believer in that because there's been plenty of times like my first tournament match ever. I know I tell this story all the time. My first tournament match ever, I went out there and shot a double leg from about me to you right now, which is about
A
10
few
miles.
miles.
And the kid saw it right away. He threw on a guillotine, and I ended up going to sleep.
Dope.
So yeah, and so it was my first nogi match. I had barely done any nogi, and I was hyped up. Bobby was talking me up. He's like, "Dude, you got this. This kid's nothing." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I went out there, shot, got put to sleep. So after that, I really took it upon myself to learn how to learn about head position, to learn actually when to shoot, and to learn guillotine defenses. So just from that one loss, I expanded what I barely knew. I'd been training like 6 months, but I really focused on that stuff, and it really improved my overall. Because you got to think about it this way: not only am I not getting tapped, I'm lasting a lot longer in rolls, right? So now I get
Right.
to do other stuff that will lead to me getting tapped, but now I can focus on, okay, I did this thing, I learned how to defend this, I can get out of this. Now I can focus on, maybe I'm giving up too many arm bars, maybe I'm giving up this sweep too much, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's why that's one thing that helped me shake those nerves for all you competitors out there or new competitors is the exact example you just gave is when I realized that I still gain from the loss.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like in the gym, you could tell a difference between competitors and like hobbyists. Not I don't even want to say hobbyists. I want to say just like someone who competes a lot usually like has like a different grind to them on the mat than like
Yeah.
and it's kind of cool. I like that you said that because that's kind of the same mindset mentality I gave myself. So when I go out there, there's no nerves because I'm gonna win no matter what. I signed up and showed up, you know?
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing, is just going out there and doing it. And that's what Bobby, me, you, Professor, that's what we all say, is like just stepping out there and doing the thing is the best thing you can do. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, just at least doing it one time.
Right. Um, I know we're gonna get a lot of jujitsu in on this chat. I just want to know, is there this is gonna be a two-part thing,
Uh,
but what main things, because you have a pretty cool story. What did jujitsu help with like your life
uh
and like how did it help? I guess is the gist of what I'm trying to get
Yeah, yeah,
at.
yeah. So I think the biggest thing that jujitsu has given to me is the friends that we made along the way.
Okay.
like like for me, and I know what story you're talking about. I'll tell it in just a second. But for me, like I was I was 25. I was kind of going to school, working at a job that was like whatever. Um, I mean, I liked my job, but it wasn't like anything to write home about. And I didn't have any structure. I didn't have any focus. I didn't have a goal. I was just working, coming home, playing video games, hanging out with my now wife, girlfriend at the time, and I was like, man, I really need something to do, right? And talking about Joe Rogan, I was watching him with Joey Diaz, and
Mm.
Joey had just got his blue belt at the time, I believe, and he was like, "It was the best thing I ever did, Joe Rogan. Jiu-jitsu was the best. There's plenty of good people there. I lost 40 pounds. It's the best thing ever." So I was like, oh well, maybe that's what I need. I wanted that camaraderie that I had like in high school when I played football and for a year in college. I was like, you know what, I really missed that. I could use that. And sure enough, like 99% of my friends are the people that train at the gym. So
Yeah,
that's what I think is the best thing that jiu-jitsu has given to me, is the relationships.
the
Um,
relationships.
yeah, and as far as um, the overall benefit that I've had from jiu-jitsu is, like I said, I weighed 300 pounds, um, and in about 8 months I lost 100. Granted, it wasn't just jiu-jitsu. I was also, I was on a calorie deficit diet, and I was also doing Muay Thai as well at the time. But like I'd never felt more confident. Like I damn near felt superhuman. Like it was like the best feeling in the world. So my friends, and then the weight loss that I've now put like almost half of it back
Yeah.
on.
Thank you, 7-Eleven.
Thank you, 7-Eleven, and just getting better at jujitsu, so I don't have to use it as much.
Yeah, you're just hitting the point to where you're not working as hard anymore.
Oh, for sure,
The
dude.
the technique outweighs the work.
Yeah, and I look back and I laugh thinking about like the early days of blue belt, when I'm like jumping around and like just doing what blue belts do, just being like crazy and just
Oh yeah.
flying around trying to pass, trying to hop over people, you know, and I'm just like that was a totally different person.
Yeah, I do. I look back at that and I'm like, fuck that. But I was there. but I was you.
Yeah, I was like, why did I even do that? Oh yeah, because
uh,
I sucked.
you had to work extra hard.
Yeah.
Part two of that question was all that being said, like I was, I want people who listen to this who don't do jiu-jitsu to be able to get something out of it, even
Uh,
if we use jiu-jitsu as examples. So just something as simple as, showing up and finding something that you trust and gave you friendship. You lost weight, you became a happier person, you enjoyed it. Um, in the same sense of you going to jiu-jitsu and it helping your life, you've actually kind of merged your life into the fucking gym.
yeah.
And
For
that's
better or
one thing.
worse.
Yeah, for better or worse. And we can get into that too. But people who don't know you, I mean, first of all, that's one thing about you I do envy is your dedication. Because
Thanks, man.
yeah, like you know, you knew you loved it. A lot of people in the gym love it. I love the shit out of it. I would be
Yeah.
there every second of the day if I could, which that's my goal. We'll talk about that later. Is I want to one day be able to. But I envy your dedication, and you're now like coaching full time. You're learning, the business through our professor of the gym.
Mhm.
But it I'm partly guilty for this, but you push through a lot of like shit. Like you push through some hazing, some ass whoopings, and some judgment. How did I write this and not like fucking like think I was setting myself up too? But, I mean, I'm being real on the show. Like you, the you were hazed and took a lot of fucking ass whoopings, and we're judged constantly. It's not our gym is not like the most humble of nicest gyms. Once you get in, once you even step half a foot into the circle, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If you mind your business on the outside, you're straight. But like it, but um, what kept you coming back, dude? You relentless fuck.
Um, what kept me coming back?
Yeah, man. I mean,
Ugh.
not a lot of people like that stuff, and you just kept showing up, and it kind of demoralized everyone.
um, well, for a long time, it was the need to want to learn more, and it was the obsession of learning more.
Hmm.
Um, and then that now has kind of morphed to the other side of it, which is giving back to the white belts, to the fundamentals class we started, getting new people in, and starting them on their journey, kind of like what Bobby did for me,
Mm.
so just really the obsession, and to be honest, I like the ass beats.
Yeah, obvious.
I think that's you don't necessarily have to like them, but I think that's one of the key factors in sticking with jujitsu is just not minding them, and understanding that eventually they will stop and it will be the flip, and some days you're the hammer, some days you're the nail. Well, at the end of the road, you're the hammer more times than not, and I think after a certain point, you really start to be like, man, I really am learning this, and I'm starting to do pretty good. And it's such a slow process that I think that most people don't give it the time to breathe.
Right. I mean, you were
Um,
dedicated from day one, and you haven't stopped. So,
yeah, I don't honestly, dude. I can't tell you. Maybe it's just because I haven't really thought about it that much. But I want to say it was the obsession of jiu-jitsu. I knew the first after the first class, I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a problem for me.
this is going to be a problem for me. I got my ass whooped, and I like it. Hey, man. I mean, I can't hate on that. I like getting my ass whooped too. Like whenever, like I talk to Zach Allen is kind of like my I don't know what you consider it, but like, well, what's your outside perspective on it? On
He's your
our
brother, bro.
Yeah. But he's kind of like my like main go-to, you know what I mean?
Of
My
course.
mentor, I guess you could kind of say.
Yeah.
And so whenever I compete or something's coming up or like, I'm either lacking motivation or craving the smoke, you know what I mean?
He's always
That's
right around the corner.
that's always what I tell him though, is like I want the ass whooping, dude. Like
Yeah.
I want it. Like when we have tournaments, I'm like I call him on the phone. I'm like, I hope I just like go against some fucking savage who whoops my ass. When most people are on the phone, like, I hope I win. Like, you can
I know,
ask him,
right?
bro. I'm like, I just want to go across like someone who just like hits me like a Mack truck, and it's like, damn, this dude's a whole nother level, bro. Like,
Dude,
but
I tell you what, in the moment there was right when we were coming back from COVID. I was in we went me and Zach and I we
now,
did
now I'm gonna get tagged.
oh
Go ahead, keep going.
sorry. Uh uh oh sorry, I get what you're saying. Zach and
Throw the flag right there.
I uh dang it.
Sorry, I broke your concentration.
No, you're fine. I didn't even think about it. We were going to Pans, and this was in 2020. And when I went, I because everything was shut down and everything. And when we came back to training, I hadn't really gotten like I never really felt like I was like back in the zone that it was when before lockdowns and stuff, right?
Right.
Those 2 months we were off. So like before then, I was feeling good. I was killing it, doing fine. Came back. I mean, I was training, but it wasn't like the same level that it was. And and we went, and I ended up winning the first match. Thankfully, I just wasn't in the right headspace. And I went into the second match, and we talk about those different body types. This dude was jacked,
I think you told me
just just corn fed, right? And he beat the dog shit out of me for 6 minutes.
Hey, you survived though.
Yeah, but it was like I was just like I was so flabbergasted. I was like, how did that happen? And it wasn't my skill. It wasn't that he was stronger than me. It was just I just wasn't mentally there, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you want to do like a little mental exercise with that?
Sure.
What went through your head during that ass whooping? And how can we pertain that to a lesson in life?
um, well, I can remember what was going through my head at the time. Oh, he just fucking knee sliced me again. This was after like the sixth one, and I couldn't stop him from knee slicing. So his I knew what his game plan was after the second one. His game plan was to get to a position where he could knee slice, hold side control, and armbar me, like come across and armbar me. It was very very basic. That was his plan, right? But I kept recovering, and he just kept knee slicing me. I was so far on the back foot that I couldn't recover, and then that's why I lost. I messed up. But life lesson you could take from that,
Yeah.
um, it's okay.
Don't pull don't pull guard.
Yeah, don't pull guard. Well, I was kind of like I don't think I could take this guy down.
Yeah, I don't blame you, bro. You're like, that's a broken neck right there.
Especially then, like my
Shooting
stand
in
up's a little better now, but
shooting in on a brick wall, like right.
oh yeah, for sure. My stand up back then was basically non-existent. So
I remember one of my first jujitsu matches, or my first one actually, was States in Miami. I'm like, all right, let's go big, and let's do a bigger one for my first one. And this kid was like, I think he was trying to like electric chair me, which is for people at home. Basically, he's trying to make me do a split and like get underneath me and make me do a split, all while I'm trying to keep my balance and pass his guard and get like stay on top dominant. And I remember fighting like over and over and over again, kind of like what you said, just repetitively fighting my balance, fighting him, trying to make me do a split, but also going for a pass at the same time. And I remember looking at the clock and seeing that only like 40 seconds went by. And being like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I've still got 6 more people if I win. So
Yeah.
I guess the lesson can be resilience, people. Like if
Yeah.
the
For sure.
more you struggle, the more game tape you have to study. How about that?
Uh-huh. It's okay. It's
And
okay to struggle. There's
and
nothing
any
wrong with it.
yeah, and anything in life. If you're having a hard time, and you know, once you get the deep breath, you always have more game tape to analyze and figure out what you did wrong or be proud of. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why like competition is like also just so great, win or lose. It's just like that new deeper water. Um, there's not a lot of things on the planet that are like that can pull you into deep water like that, and get you familiar with the amount of stress and physical exertion, and like I don't know, like your mind just moving a million miles a minute.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
That are relatively safe.
Yeah, relative. Like I mean,
Relatively.
we've
Well,
I've
you
seen
can always get hurt, but
uh, we've
relatively.
seen we've seen some shit, but you're not in the middle of a war, or you're not ducking
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
yeah, 100% with that.
And you're not taking brain damage for the most part.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't like getting punched in the face too often. Like,
Oh,
and that's why Muay Thai fighters are fucking nuts because you're like trading punches.
you're just standing in the middle of the ring, just kicking each other in the head.
Yeah, wait, hey, shit, let's go improv on that, dude. Like, how do you feel? Like, what's the trade off here? Like, we're the guys who are gonna have bad joints and slip disc, but we're looking at the guys who are gonna have like punching each
Yeah.
other in the face, and we're like, oh, not gonna be that guy.
Well, at least I'm not that guy.
Yeah, it's like, but what's really worse though?
Well, I mean, as long as I can, use my brain, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be able to walk, but I can crawl over there.
I'll tell you what, man, or neck pain sucks ass. I can tell you
Oh,
that much.
no doubt, man.
It's been one of the hardest parts for me so far in jiu-jitsu is just like getting to the point to where I actually have to like manage my neck pain.
Yeah.
I think during the blue belt years it was so fast that I just kind of like ibuprofened up and
Yeah.
bit down.
Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of times, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And it was specifically during the blue belt days where you're just going through the grind, and you're just, yep, I got to keep going. And unfortunately, nowadays, I don't think that was the right approach.
Yeah. Right?
Because I mean, my knees, I mean, they're not in the same shape as your neck. Your neck's obviously not good. But
Pain sucks no matter where it is though.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And my knees are pretty much shot. My shoulders are not doing well. My back, I get flare ups. Hips are not well. You know what I mean?
Well, there is one thing too that I think is an issue with the sport, and pertaining shit to life too is like everyone focuses on the sport, but no one really focuses on the recovery.
Yes.
And a lot of people are like that in life in general. Like, a lot of people focus on the money they make, but they won't focus on, maintaining good relationships or like maintaining, a healthy lifestyle so they can live long enough to enjoy their money.
Yeah.
So I think that the thing with jiu-jitsu is a lot of people, especially the newbies, the blues and white belts or whatever, I think they focus a lot on the fighting, which, hey man, it's fucking fun to have that adrenaline rush. But
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people go home and take the ice baths or stretch. I don't see
Yeah.
a lot of people stretching after class, really. They should.
Well, and it's like what we were just talking about with being blue belts. We were both young, and we're like, it's fine. We'll go through
Yeah,
it. And then now we're both above 30. It's like it's not fine.
it's not fine. It's not fine. I know what's even fucking worse, man, is like, and I encourage anyone to do this. Fuck what people say, because in the long run you'll be happier. But
Yeah.
like, I went to physical therapy for 8 fucking months because of my car accident,
Yeah.
and that shit helped. The,
Of
the
course.
shots,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
shots didn't fucking help. The doctor visits and everything they were trying to prescribe me, I knew it wasn't gonna fucking help, and definitely not gonna do surgery unless it's like worst case scenario or best case scenario, depending on how you look at it. But
Yeah.
like you come in the gym and start doing the fucking physical therapy workouts that they gave you that you always look sideways at, and everyone at the gym's got something fucking to say. And it's like, you know what, bitch? I'm I'm correcting my posture right now.
Well,
Like,
that's because it's just because they don't see the magic yet. That's the thing. Once they see the magic of recovery, then it's a different ball game. And I think it's good to stress that, because now who's the best for me was Big Jake.
yeah,
When I was having really bad problems. I was like honestly, like I was looking like an old man. Like I couldn't like stand up all the way because my back was hurting. My knees were like the worst they've ever been. And he's like, "Oh, dude, it's your hips." And then he basically like showed me like 3 stretches. I did them for a week, and I was 100% again. And I just didn't realize that my hips weren't. They were just strained, you
and
know.
I'm
And
gonna
he,
have him on here, I think, next week too.
oh,
But
awesome.
yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
I
no, no,
thought
you're
you were done.
fine. But
But
it's just what you were saying. I think it's good to start to go over that, and really show people like, hey, if you want to do this longer and more, uh, and have more fun with it, then this is the route to take. You got to do the extra stuff with it so you maintain yourself.
100%, dude. And I know he's gonna listen to this. He listens to. He said he's been listening to these on his way to the gym
Oh
because
yeah.
He's over in Nam right now for the listeners. But when this big 6'5", 230 pound ex college football coach fucking did these crazy stretches and workouts before class, nobody had shit to say to him. As you guys just heard, this shit works, bro. And
Yeah.
I'm in the corner doing it. I'm in the corner doing the same shit, and people are like, "Oh, sorry, what you doing over there?"
Well, I was talking shit to him about those damn shin boxes that he likes to do. Those things suck ass, and he knows they suck. And he's got a smile on his face the whole time. He's like, "Yeah, these are great." I'm like, "Jake, shut the fuck
and Jake,
up."
if you're listening, bro, I knew you were different. Like when I saw you in there doing your fucking cat cows, like
Oh yeah.
almost like on all fours twerking. Just because I went through so much physical therapy that I was like, oh, he knows something. Like like you know what I mean? He's been through something, or
Oh yeah.
he ain't bullshitting. Like, but other people are probably like, what's this goof doing in the corner? But I saw you from day one, bro. I saw you, and I think like we keep saying, I think it's extremely important. Like a lot of us have back and neck issues, and I think that I've been concentrating on my like posture and workouts and diet and stuff a lot more, and I'm hoping it starts paying off. I know it's not an overnight success, but
Yeah.
and I think that's another issue with it is it's a and tell me what you think, but I think it's not an instant gratification, so a lot of people don't do it.
Yeah. I agree.
Like it's not like you go home and do like 10 push-ups and tomorrow you're fucking jacked. It's
Yeah.
like,
Tomorrow you're One Punch Man.
yeah, right. Yeah, speaking of that, bro, you're an anime guy, man. And when I came to the gym, well, you weren't there when I came to the gym, but when you came to the gym and it was pretty much established you liked all that cartoon shit and stuff. Only thing I saw at that point was Dragon Ball Z, bro. And I know that always got me so hyped.
Mhm.
Like I remember being on the MMA team, and whenever we drove to like matches or events, we were always watching compilations to just to get worked up, bro. Like just to want
Oh
to.
hell
It's
yeah, dude.
almost like watching the movie 300 right before a match or something.
Yeah.
Do any of those shows like give you an alter ego? or alternate ego? Yeah, roll with it.
um,
You gotta have like a hero or something like it. Like, Big Mike's got Naruto.
yeah.
I dig deep for my Majin Vegeta, bro. Like when things are getting tough and I'm like fucking I don't want to quit. That's who I am. That's my spirit animal. Trying to
Dude,
power up.
Vegeta's such a good one though.
And I'm a good one. Exactly. See, now you get it. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to see, like, do you got your character, like your perceivable character, dude?
It's not technically like a shonen protagonist.
Okay.
Which for those that don't know, it's like battle manga and battle shows. It's um, it's Guts from Berserk.
Oh yeah.
That's probably my guy.
That's a fucking good one too, dude.
Yeah, just the idea of always struggling but keep moving forward until
Dude,
these recent chapters. But anyway,
that's a fucking good one, man. And I got you to thank for that one. That I couldn't have planned that if I wanted to, but like you brought that show up to me. You remember
yeah,
that?
yeah.
And somehow I think I got a hold of like a YouTube video that explained the manga in like maybe it was like 4 hours or something like that. But I just ended up finding like episodes, and that is a show that I'm like pretty upset that I'm only gonna get what I got. And they cut that bitch off right when shit started like hitting the fan too.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I'll have to send you a video. There's a guy on YouTube who did a breakdown of the manga, and he just basically goes through the whole thing.
Send
And
it.
yeah, I'll send it to you. You have to watch it in chunks. It's 21 hours, so I've
I'll
watched
take
through
it.
it like four times.
But
not,
like
not,
you said, all right, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just saying, not all in one sitting. Enjoy
No. Oh, don't judge me, bro. It might happen.
that.
I might fuck around and call him.
Call out of work. I gotta watch this video.
Yeah. Go find a positive test or something. But yeah, they I might fuck around in quarantine. uh like, so what did you get? What was your like correlation? You said this always struggling with pushing through.
Yeah, I mean, he's Kintaro Miura is a fantastic mangaka, and just the story itself, just all the other characters, and just how he grows as a person as well. He goes from being a loner to finding friends, and then some bad stuff happens, and then he just is like super rageful and vengeful, and then he learns the lesson that he messed up the first time, and then he lets people in again, and he just keeps pushing forward and tries to save the woman he loves,
Mm,
and
just like
yeah, and then, literally me, bro, and then throughout the whole thing, he's just constantly having to fight to survive, and he's just trying to look out for the best for everyone else at the cost to himself. So
that's fucking great. I like that one. Um, it's it's cool because I mean, I probably I'm pretty like straight up with you. Obviously, you're probably one of the few people in the gym who know more sides to me than you know more sides to me than probably like 90% of the gym. You might not know all about me, but you know a lot about me. And you're completely different than me. I think we come from different, like just different angles. Um, just like our game, just like our jujitsu. But I think we have a similar dream. Um, what is your goal? Like, what is your dream?
well, um, some might call it traditional, but I want to own my own gym, and then after that, give jujitsu to whoever wants to listen, and then and then, just start building life with Lindsay, and maybe have some kids, and hopefully don't mess it up.
That's perfect, dude. I mean, we have the coaching. I mean, you and I coached together for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then is that something you enjoy? Is that something that you think? I don't know about you. I like helping,
Yeah.
and it's not really. It's not. I always tell people get really thankful when you help them on the mat. Just like people in real life, like they get thankful when you help them on the mat and stuff, or help
Mhm.
them like in real life too. But like when for some reason when you show somebody like a move or help them through like a problem they're having on the with a position or trying to pull a submission, like you get like a gratification from it.
Mhm.
And so it's not completely selfless because it actually makes you feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, at least this is my perspective. I was trying to come around to seeing like what you like to get out of coaching, like what your what you enjoy about it. And
um, so
I was trying
uh,
not to be cliche about it, but fuck
no,
man, I can't be perfect.
no, you're good. You're good. What I laughed about was that I kind of have an answer for this. So whenever it was something I didn't know, or like I couldn't wrap my head around, when professor would tell me the answer, he would always say, there's the look in your eyes, because my eyes would just widen up when it was like a revelation, right?
Right.
And what I like doing is I like seeing that. So when it happens to me, he'd always comment on it, and he was always start laughing, and he would just do the thing, where like the head explode thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I like seeing that in other people. I like them. Sometimes you help them work through the answer. I don't always like to just. I mean, most of the time I do. Just tell them the answer. Um,
Right.
Sometimes I like to walk through with them. It just depends on the situation, but um, I do say that, and it's kind of an ego thing. Like I do like being asked questions. I enjoy that, because it it's it's good for me, because it's like, oh yes, I got to answer the question. But then at the same time, it's like, what if I don't know the answer? So I like that too, because there's a lot of times where I have to like go through the Rolodex of the stuff that I do know, and sometimes I may not have the perfect answer, but I can piece together different pieces from different positions, and I might be able to put something together.
Yeah,
So
I think
I really like that aspect of it too, as well as I do really enjoy helping people. That's why I want to coach. Like I want to give people what I got out of jiu-jitsu, right? So there's a couple different things.
nice. Yeah, I mean, no wrong answer here. It is nice when you can answer questions for people. It's also the way I look at it too is the better I make you, the better I get.
True.
And so it's not completely selfless.
No.
I don't know. I'm just not like an emotional person. And whenever I start feeling that weird ooey, that weird like 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 bond or like goo goo moment,
Yeah.
I gotta like say something like, yeah, man, if you get better, I get better. So
Just completely dismiss him. Hey, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, just kind of like that's like my way is like, all right, cool it with the frou frou shit. So let's get back to. But I mean, that's just my way of handling
Yeah.
things. Sometimes I don't know what's wrong with me.
But you know what else? What else I like to do is, because there are times when I'm not the um, when I'm not the arbiter of a specific position, you know.
Hmm.
And I really enjoy deferring to people. Because then at that they're gonna get the best answer possible, right?
That's
So
nice.
it's like there's been like a lot of instances where like Andy would come up and ask me something, and I'd be like, oh, Kevin would know more about that. Zach would know more about that. And instances where if it's like something like lasso specific, well, that's all Andy gets to do, right? So then it's
Yep.
like, oh, well, I would definitely ask Andy about that, So I like that too. I mean, I'll give him an answer, but it's like you should really go talk to this person because they know way more about this position than I do.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that outlook too. 'Cause-
Yeah, because I don't know everything. I'm not a wizard. Yeah.
and again, I think it's little details like that though that make everything different. Like, I mean, if you're uh, if you're making sure everyone gets the best possible, dose,
Hmm.
you're also making sure that your gym is at always the best. I mean, like, if I was like an ego person and I told people like, yeah, just do this or just do it my way or just do it that way,
Yeah. Yeah.
or gave a half-ass fucking answer, like
This
you're
is the
gonna have a
best.
whole
This is the
gym,
best way to do it. Everyone else is wrong.
you're gonna have a whole gym full of half-asses,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna get better, and they're not gonna get better. And actually, it kind of brings me to, I don't know if you listened yet, but I just posted like a theory. I just published like a theory on my channel about the purple belt blues.
Oh yeah, yeah. I started it, but unfortunately the kids came in. I was cleaning the gym up before kids class, and then I was like, oh,
Gotcha.
damn it.
I know that feeling, bro. When them kids are like walking up to the door,
You're like,
it's
oh,
like it's always like the day that like you need an extra 10 minutes. That these kids are 25 minutes early.
dude, every time.
What the hell is up with that?
I don't know. I had
You're
to
like
tell one lady, I'm like, hey, class is like 5:15, right? And she's like, oh, I had no idea. I'm like, are you kidding me?
4:35. Like I'm on break. Yeah, especially like yeah, I remember those days. Um, the theory was kind of like, and it kind of ties into what we were just talking about. Once I think like, I don't want to. I want people to listen to it, so I don't want to like completely kill it. But I just talk about breaking through phases of
Mhm.
like kind of like my observations on the mat of like white belts and observations of blue belts and like my observations of purple belts. But I kind of have a theory that like a lot of purple belts quit, a lot more purple belts quit than uh like blue belts maybe on a damn it, ah, ratio, like a bigger ratio.
Yeah, like per capita or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like um my theory kind of is like maybe because things get dull.
Yeah, that's a valid point, man. You're doing the same thing every day, for 5 years, and then you get that next belt, and you're like, is this really it?
Is this really it? Am I advancing anymore?
Yeah.
If you're
Oh,
if
dude, it gets tough, bro. It gets so tough once you hit that area where like your A game is so refined, and you're just like, ah, like what do I do? What do I do next? But and I do have a cure for that.
let's hear
Be bad.
it.
It's
Yeah,
it's it's okay. Stop doing your A game. Work on new shit.
that's what I do. Yeah, that's
Yeah. If you don't work
yeah.
on new shit, what if some big bad brown belt comes over and he's has the exact counter to your A game? You
I'm
know?
doing guard. I'm doing guard now.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. It's time for you to start like trying new shit, different angles.
Yeah.
Um, it I think like you're talking about the hammer and the nail. It's like when you're the nail, you want to be the hammer.
Yeah.
But I think that like once you become more of a hammer, you still need bigger hammers.
Yeah. Yeah. You need a hammer to hammer you as you hammer the nail.
You got like walk down Home Depot, like and go down a walk down a couple extra aisles, and find the bigger hammers because as much as your ego likes it still needs like struggle. You got this far by like enjoying the struggle, as you put it.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like it's time to time
Like,
to I'm like coming at a loss for words. It's like it's time to like find who can keep you honest.
yeah.
Let's put it that way.
And if you can't, I mean, that's not the end of the world. You just got to find a new struggle.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's quitting jujitsu. I think it's just doing something different. So like for me, I really got into leg attacks. Um, I got into leg attacks, and I got into passing because
Mm.
I've always been more of a guard guy. That I was feeling pretty good with that, and I'm like, yeah, but I couldn't pass anybody's guard. You know, I was like I said, I was jumping over and doing all kinds of like crazy stuff because I was making up for a deficit in my technique. So that's why I really got into those two aspects. The problem now is that that's what I mostly do now, and I got to do something else. I don't want to because I like doing them.
Damn it, I'm too comfortable again. What is your outlook on like cross training somewhere, like stopping by, either finding another gym to hit open mats at, or
Mhm.
um like, because you get used to everyone's game, and everyone's gym has like, I'm not gonna say they all have like a style, but like you get used to like certain certain problems, like certain math problems that you're dealing with while you're rolling.
Yeah.
What's your outlook on like maybe being able to like cross train or find like a gym to hit an open mat at or something like that?
Oh, I don't mind it at all. I think it's good for that exact reason. Is you get different looks. Sometimes you can steal from other people because that's all my jujitsu is. I've just stolen everything I know from other people. That's how I describe it. Like oh yeah, I do this like Kevin because Kevin's the best at this. I do this like Zach because Zach's the best at this. I do this like Professor because he's the best at this. So like it's just another opportunity to go and see what other people are doing and how you can improve your own game.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's a cool way to do it. Like make the recipes, and that helps. The whole gym helps each other that in that particular fashion.
Yeah, for sure. Because then you can always bring it back, and that's why that's why a lot of people don't like it.
And there's like a little bit of ego to it, like
Oh, of
like I
course,
can
yeah,
I can understand like people want to protect their gyms or protect their styles or whatever, but
yeah,
it's really nice to trade off with people sometimes and like help each other out.
yeah. But I feel like nowadays because jujitsu is like more popular than it's ever been. I feel like that's kind of a thing of the past for the most part. It's more of like because it's like we have YouTube and Instagram, so it's not like you can't look at whatever you want to look at anyway. You know, these people are
Right.
putting out their free content. I know they may get like whatever, but
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of funny how much free content there is. There's one thing I sit around a lot is like how to make money at jiu-jitsu, man.
good
Because
luck.
once I figure it out, it's over. But I keep like trying to figure it out, man. Um, anyone in the gym or that you look up to that any particular like you know like I keep coming at a loss for words, bro. I'm usually fucking good at this. Like
It's
when
okay.
do I not have my words about me? But like do you have anyone that you look up to or any like specific mentality or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a lot of people I look up to, and sometimes it's for different things. Um, like for you, for instance, I look up to your determination. Um, sometimes it's hard, especially you got the family and you had to jump around a couple different spots, but you still keep coming in, you keep doing your thing, So, and I know it's not easy, but you're still. There's Kevin. Yes, Kevin's here. Great. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like for you, it's that for someone like for Seth and Andy, I really just appreciate them as human beings and that they're they have a bunch of knowledge in real life that I don't have. So I go to them a lot for with my questions and I look up to them in that aspect. Um, Jeremy and Professor, I look up to them as far as jiu-jitsu goes. Professor for his skill and his knowledge teaching, and granted, I am more like Jeremy than I am Professor. Zach's more like Professor, so so in that, and I looked at Jeremy for just his overall mannerisms at the gym. He's always helpful. He's always willing to help, teach people whatever they want to know. He's got plenty of wisdom and stories.
Who's this?
And
I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. And then, and then in that same vein as professors like Zach and Bobby for this, because
Oh,
Bobby's my first teacher. I can always go to him with a question. He's like an encyclopedia of knowledge.
yeah, he
Um,
is.
he's got tons of heart, and and Zach in that same aspect. Even though those two are polar opposites.
I know.
They're both my friends, and they work super hard when the time calls for it. So
For someone like Bobby who just like, gets on top of you and smashes the living shit out of you until you give up. Like and that's it.
yeah,
He has like the answer to almost everything.
yeah.
And it's like I'm glad you retain. Is this what? It's like almost like he studies as he just smashing the shit out of somebody. Like it's like he just like in his head he's actually physically smashing you, but in his head he, he he's like playing another match. so so it's like or he's thinking about what he's gonna teach later or tomorrow or
yeah,
some shit.
yeah, yeah.
It's it's kind of fun, man.
Dude, he's got like an almost autistic level of encyclopedia knowledge, bro. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he he's I don't know if I want him on here or not.
That's fine.
Like I kind of part of me does. Part of me is like the world's not ready. My
Oh,
final
and in
episode.
that same vein, and I've actually with Fallon, Bobby's sister, I like we share jujitsu memes back and forth, which has been pretty fun. But just like she's another one where it's it's crazy to me the skill level at our gym and just how nice they are. I mean, Zach to a less extent, but but just like how helpful they are and how great they are as people, and I love it when I do try to bring girls in and women in to she is a role model, even though if she doesn't want to be, it's like sometimes she, it's like whatever, but it's super helpful because she's always coming in, saying hi to everybody, beating the shit out of them. It's great.
It's fucking awesome, man. Um, I'm happy and honored that you put me in that circle. I don't know if you're just being nice because you're on my show, but
Of course,
either
100%.
either way, I'll take it and I appreciate it, man. And, it's cool that even like, Seth being a lower belt than you're still able to like look up to him. And I think that says a lot about character. And for people listening, I think that one thing that I've definitely picked up, especially lately in my journey on the mats, is like just being able to learn something from anyone,
Oh
whether
yeah,
it's whether it's
huge.
on the mat or if it's like in real life or whatever. Like it doesn't matter. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you're better than anyone. You're just probably better than a lot of people at money,
Yeah,
or you're just prepared, or there's different reasons. Um, so anyone who's like doing anything in life, like I just want them to just to throw a note out there. It's just something I was reflecting on earlier. Is there's white belts I can learn from, like you and I can learn from each other. You know, just being able to learn something from anyone out there, and I respect that you were able to just name a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. It just shows like how much out there to gain on and off the mats.
yeah, for sure. And that's like, I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but so I was helping Big Mike with one of his privates with a professor, and we were taking a break. Like we were working on a position. I can't remember if it was like single leg X or something. We were working on a position, and then Mike went to get some water, and he came back, and then him and Professor were talking, and I was kind of just chilling, listening to him, and he looked at Mike, and he was like, do you know how Zach got so good so fast? And I was like, how did I? Because I have no
compliment.
idea. I know, right? And
This ain't every day.
Don't tell him I'm telling the story. I was like, I don't really know. And he continued. He's like looking at Mike, and he goes, he listens.
Total professor move. He listens to me.
And then Mike was like, oh shit. You know how Mike is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Zach Allen says the same thing about me. He said that I'm his favorite person to coach because,
Because you listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we work well together, is because we both know we have different perspectives and we listen to each other.
Yeah, of course, man. This is going about an hour. I don't know. Did you have fun? Did you like it? What did you
It was
think?
great, man. Thanks for having me on. And I wasn't just blowing smoke. I do really appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate you took me under your wing when I was a baby white belt, and you had your faux hawk back in the day, and
Yeah, now look at us. The ranking system's all fucked up, and I didn't even write that down in my notebook to cover. Well, maybe next time, we'll see.
Sure.
But I mean, all said and done, man. Yeah, I do appreciate it. I'm glad you're on here. I'm sure, it's cool that you went from, I really respect. I don't even really give you a huge intro. I might have to record it and put it in the beginning, but it just I just envy the fact that you from day one, loved it and stuck with it, because I can, relate. Sometimes it's hard as fuck to get in there, and I promise I try all I can to get there.
I know.
I think I'm in a valley right now, but I will prevail. But yeah, I just a good human being to learn from humans is this guy. He knew what he liked. He didn't question himself. He figured out how to go from showing up to the gym every moment he could to fully being immersed in it. He's, one of the main names in the gym, coaching a lot of classes underneath professor's wing, learning how to run the business himself, and, coaching kids and living the life really. So, and somehow you managed to negotiate just enough to live off of. So that in itself is a skill in our gym. So congrats.
It was more out of his desperation than my skill level at the time.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had to pull the COVID rope a dope. Who else is gonna show up? Oh man, that all said. Oh, and before we get off, I did want to share one funny story, man.
Oh, sure.
More for the listeners.
Yeah, of course.
So Zach and I, Zach Thacker, at one point, because we've both been pretty dedicated to the gym since day one, we our professor decided to do this class to teach people what he learned through his years of coaching to be good coaches. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The little coaching academy or whatever he did.
The instructor's course thing. Yeah.
The instructor's course. That's what it was. And so we hit this one part in the course where professor's having us make our own class, but everyone who's in the course.
Oh shit!
You know where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
I just want to end with a banger. So,
sorry.
Professor instructs us that whoever's running the course that day, their own class, everyone who's taking the class, which are all the people who are learning to be instructors, need to act all different ways so this person can learn how to handle multiple personalities coming at them at the same exact time. So it is extremely awkward because you have to make a class and professors in the corner judging you on how you ran the class, how much sense it makes, what you've picked up from the course so far. And Zach Thacker, what did you do when you were the student in the whole?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I can't remember the specifics, but I literally went batshit insane.
Someone tell us.
Let's see, what did I do? I was like screaming. I was starting beef with the other students. I got hurt multiple times.
So this dude is pretending. You're trying to like do a course and you're being judged on it, and this dude is pretending to be a kid picking fights with other kids. When you're reprimanding him, because you're being graded on whether you reprimand them or not and how you handle the situation, he's saying no, screw that, and walking off the mat. And then you finally get his ass to calm down during this whole fake pantomime thing, and then he just lays on the ground with a broken arm. Still ace that shit. So.
Oh yeah, dude, I got the worst. I'm pretty sure I got the worst score in that.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, he gave me like a 70. He gave me a 70 on that. Barely passed.
Sure. I would have given you an A just for you fucking with somebody that hard. But the thing is, I still came out on top, and thanks for putting me through that, because that shit was fucking hilarious. And
you're welcome, bro. It was fun. It was fun to do. I mean, because he was like, he's like, I was like, can we do that? And he's like, yeah, you can cause some distractions and stuff. I was like, well, I already went, so I'm gonna just tank this whole thing.
You had nothing to lose. Nobody was gonna come at you or nothing. That's funny. But hey, man, thanks a lot for doing this. I think I'm just gonna post them as I do them now. I was gonna save up, but so this should be going up anytime soon. Is there anything else you want to say before I cut you off?
No, man. Just thank you for having.
I think the podcast is fucking sick. If you're listening to it and you're like, I don't know if I want to listen to the next episode of this podcast, you're probably a bitch ass. You need to listen to the next episode of this podcast and keep listening to it. Because my friends down here are trying to make shit happen. And we're going to make some shit happen.